as you would say. All right, everybody, what's up? As promised, we are live. Narcolepsy Boy 94, aka Malik, here with some special guests. First time on the channel for John at the bottom. Ramondo's been on here, I think maybe second and third time. He's played the Jeopardy once and did the RWP podcast. But gonna chat about some pro wrestling for you guys. If you guys have some questions you want to ask, feel free to throw some questions in the chat as well. Always can feel free to ask questions. And then we'll probably touch on like maybe the current state. There's a lot of things going on in the wrestling right now, a lot of stuff within the wrestling world is always going on. I feel like we're in this time frame of wrestling where it's like so much wrestling is out there now, whether it's like WWE or New Japan or AEW. There's so much. Like there's so many options out there to watch, and hopefully people can get more familiar too, because some people feel like they could be one sided about certain things. I get people ask me that all the time, like you a team WWE or team AEW. I'm like, I like both. I'm like, I don't pick a certain teams. It's in like a football. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not picking a certain team. You know what I mean? So, yeah. How you guys doing though? You guys can introduce yourself. You guys want real quick? We'll go. Ramondo, you can tell everybody who you are. Plug in your social.
Let's see. My name is Romando, and Old Namor is just Romando backwards. Old Namor on TikTok, Old Namor on Instagram. That's all I got.
Go ahead, John.
I'm John Boy Bebop on TikTok, the John Pearson on Twitter, and I just give like really terrible wrestling takes.
That's true. No,
yeah.
Your wrestling takes aren't that bad. We'll start with the one question right here. Do you guys think Bayley will make a surprise return at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam? John, what do you think about that?
I don't think that I'm not that hyped for Money in the Bank, to be honest. I really hope that Bayley is doing something. You're not?
I said, why not? What's missing for you?
I think with the injuries and everything, it's just like AEW too. Like, I don't know how you guys felt about the show tonight, but like, I was just kind of bored sitting through it.
I think Okada definitely helped.
Okada really helped. Okada helped, and Will Ospreay's match helped. But like, even like the ending was just like everything felt jumbled. Anyways, we're not even talking about AEW. But Money in the Bank just doesn't. Plus, they took the Riddle stuff. The entire pay per view. I'm just not big with it. So I really hope Bayley returns, because it's a perfect time for her to return.
Yeah, it would help.
and honestly, like, no diss to like Natty or anything, but like doing like the Ronda Natty feud is like, I'm just like, we've done this already. So having someone like Bayley immediately come in with Ronda, I would be really excited.
Yeah, the Ronda and Natalya thing, it's a little random. It's a little random. I mean, I get that. They really don't have anybody on SmackDown besides Charlotte, like as a legit contender right now, honestly. But I mean, I think if they maybe did like Ronda versus Shayna Baszler or something, that would have been more interesting. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the MMA background and the friendship they have there too. But I feel like the last two WWE pay-per-views or premium live events, I should say, the last two, felt kind of less hype, but they're really good shows though. I mean, Backlash was pretty solid, and Hell in a Cell was pretty good too. So. Money in the Bank probably going to be the same. I mean, the Money in the Bank ladder matches will probably deliver and be good. Money in the Bank. I was a little upset that we didn't get Rhea Ripley at Money in the Bank, because
she's hurt, right?
She has something with her teeth right now. She got like the dental thing going on because she had to get braces and stuff, because I think her tooth got knocked out one of her matches or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm for sure that we're probably gonna get that at SummerSlam though. I would assume they probably just run it back. I wouldn't, but knowing WWE, you never know. But Money in the Bank will probably carry the shows. I mean, Roman Reigns isn't gonna be there. He's not defending the titles until SummerSlam. And then, like I said, the injuries. I mean, the injuries are just really piling up right now. I mean, Randy Orton's out. I mean, you got Cody Rhodes is out. Big E's gone right now. Bayley's been out for a while. So I mean, there's quite a few injuries going on right now, man. That really hurts. I feel like
the Cena return is really going to help, get some interest.
But yeah, we don't know how long he's going to stay though. That's the thing. Like how much is it? Just so he could just be showing up for Monday, just to say hi and just
You think he's going to come back and do the job for somebody?
Probably Theory. I mean, it kind of seems like they're kind of teasing that. I would say I don't want to say that for sure, but it kind of seems like they're headed in that direction.
Yeah.
But is that something you guys want to see? Like, is that something you really want to see John Cena do? Like, would you want to see him versus Theory? Or would you want to see him for somebody else?
Go ahead.
Honestly, whatever John Cena comes back to do, I'm with anything he comes back to do right now. Because I'm a huge Cena fan, but I also know in my head is like, what more can Cena do? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
It's just feels good it's good to see him, I guess.
I'm gonna be honest. I would love. I think it was Loff on TikTok that put up this point. I mean, he made a really good point that I was like. He said that Cena should beat Theory, and I'm kind of for that. Like Theory's super young, and Cena when he comes back, I don't want Cena to be that guy that comes back. And it's great that he puts people over, but like then I think that loses a little bit of like the luster of John Cena. Like I know you can always put in a title picture, but
I was getting ready to say that kind of loses his credibility a little bit.
Yeah,
like, he continues to come back in and lose. Like
and all
but
they
then
gotta
again, you
do,
gotta think though, if he wins though, people may look at he's burying,
man,
Theory,
and they don't. So like, I think that he has helped but like he really helped Kevin Owens when he first came up on the main roster and everything. And then like it hurt, but then it hurt Bray, right? But it hurt Bray. Like the match itself didn't hurt Bray. It was like how they dealt with Bray afterwards. So if they have a compelling story with Cena and Theory, that can make Theory a way bigger star. Because I think that he's the youngest United States champion and everything. But like I still think I see a lot of people like, I'm just not that into Theory. And this can be the feud that makes people into Theory, whether he wins or loses. If they give him a compelling story, and I think Cena's the perfect guy, it's obviously what Theory wants. Like that would be a perfect thing for Cena to do. And then he gets over on somebody, so then he can lose to Roman again or Brock or one of the big guys.
He doesn't need to win. Like Theory just to be in the same ring as John Cena, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking it's John Cena.
But would it be a bigger deal though if he did win though? Because I mean, like when Kevin Owens first came and he beat John Cena at the Chamber, that was like, oh shit, like
but I didn't buy it. I didn't like it. Well, this is my personal opinion. Like for Kevin Owens to come, I didn't really know who he was too much. I know he was big on the independent scene. I didn't know who he was too much, but I was just not. Kevin Owens shouldn't have lost to Cena, in my opinion. Like he's Super Cena, you know what I mean?
I get that. I mean, I get that. I guess it depends on who you are if you're gonna.
What you're into.
But I mean, I don't know. I kind of do think Cena should win. Cena should be in a feud where he could at least win his next match. I mean, he hasn't won a match in quite some time. I mean, he came back, put Roman over, put the Fiend over at WrestleMania. So it's like, I just feel like they need to put him in a feud where at least something could come out of it. I don't know if you guys saw the video I made today on TikTok, but what if they did like John Cena versus Finn Balor? Because I mean, people were talking about Finn Balor versus Edge, but if you remember last year, to backtrack, when Cena signed the contract to face Roman, Finn Balor was supposed to get that shot, then Baron Corbin, kind of broke it up, and then Finn Balor did an interview and said that he got a bone to pick with John Cena or something like that. So it's like, they revisit that. Like, what if Monday Cena comes out and then Judgment Day attacks Cena, and then like you got Finn versus Cena at SummerSlam, and then like Edge can make his return at SummerSlam, something like that. You know what I mean? And like maybe it could end in some type of physical brawl, and then I don't know. I mean, it depends on how long Cena's going to stay. I don't know how long they can stretch that out, but I just feel like Cena at this stage in his career, it's big for him to put people over if it's the right person. Like him, obviously Roman was the right person to win just because he's the guy right now. But like Cena's also keep his credibility. Just they also got to put him in feuds and insert him in stuff that makes sense where he can also win too, because you don't want him just to be the guy to come back and keep losing everybody.
Yeah, I think like Finn, I would probably want Finn to go over because I feel like Finn needs this like big statement win to get back to that like universal title picture. But
Finn has been very misused or underused.
Yeah, he has. I really loved his stuff when he went back to NXT.
Talk to Stephanie McMahon being in charge of WWE, being the CEO and the chairman right now. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Pretty wild. Just to be clear though, Vince is still the head of the booker though. Like he's still the head booker and everything. He's just not the chairman and the CEO, which was like behind the scenes stuff for WWE, like a lot more corporation stuff. What are your thoughts on this? You guys, first question I want: do you guys think this will be a permanent thing, or do you think this is going to be temporarily? What's your gut telling you, John?
I mean, like listening to like the Fightful stuff on what they've reported, like I didn't take it as that serious because it was like, man, Vince has beaten everything, and then I kept hearing Sean Ross Sapp be like, this is the biggest threat to like his job status since the steroid trial, and I was like, this is that serious, and but I don't think it's going to be permanent. I don't know what's up with Vince, like continuously showing up. Like he showed up on SmackDown, he showed up on Raw. I do now. My theory is just that Vince is doing this so that
That's a
people are
power
cheering
move,
him.
for sure.
Yeah, I think that people are going to
He's
cheer
petty,
him.
man. We all know he's petty.
Yeah,
He's
but
petty.
I think I don't think it's going to be permanent just because I think Vince is always going to be that guy. But I do think that this is a really good opportunity for Stephanie to show that like she can run the company whenever Vince decides to leave it or pass. And I think that from everything that like they've reported that Stephanie is really liked like in the locker room and like all of the wrestlers, like how she does business, they really, really like. So I think that I'm interested to see like what she can still stand because like you said, Vince is running creative. So like how much can she really change if Vince is running creative? But maybe we'll hear stories of like behind the scenes stuff of what she's helping become something different.
What about you, Armando?
Stephanie McMahon, I think I don't know if it's going to be permanent or not, but I'm very interested to see what she does. Because Stephanie McMahon, I think she's like super smart as far as like business goes. And I feel like Vince is a little, I guess, out of touch because he's a lot older. Now, maybe not out of touch, but he's not going to be as privy to what's going on in the world as Stephanie McMahon is. So, and like Johnny said, I had two different opinions. I didn't think with Vince this whole thing was going on. I didn't think it was a huge deal. I think the biggest problem is where that money was coming from.
Yeah,
because not that I'm trying to like word this right. Not that it's okay to be using your power to whatever to get what you want.
Right.
He didn't sexually assault or sexually harass from what I've heard. I haven't heard any of.
I think it was a mutual thing. Like they slept with each other, because he's married. I think he paid her to keep it on the low.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like just because you're a scumbag doesn't make you a criminal or a predator. Right. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I'm a big fan of mind my business.
But I think from what I'm understanding, it's being looked into more deeper because they made a lot of budget cuts and everything. And the salary was getting raised by
where that money was coming from is the biggest.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that like they're looking into like where was the money coming from? Who knew about this? Like who knew about it and probably kept hush hush. So there's a lot of factors going into it.
But that's getting lost in the scandal. Like that's what's important, where that money was coming from. Everybody's stuck on, oh shit, Vince, got with somebody. Vince cheated on his wife. But fuck, that doesn't even matter right now. Where's that money coming from?
Yeah. And that's where it can actually like become like illegal because he like can't use the actual WWE money when it's a publicly traded company. So
I mean, I don't know though, bro. I feel like Vince. I mean, if Vince could beat the federal government, I mean, I don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
he's dealt with way worse.
This guy has survived the steroid trial where he was facing legit like prison time.
Put neck brace on.
Legit prison time. The Owen Hart tragedy where. Dude literally died on his show and they continued the show after his death and he overcame that. The Chris Benoit stuff. I mean, that like single hand they did a tribute show to this guy, like without even knowing the full information about that stuff. And then like the stuff in 2018 with Saudi Arabia, like, when they like were keeping the superstars over hostage, in Saudi Arabia, stuff like that. And you look at now with the allegations, it's like Vince, I don't know, bro. Vince is just like something there. Like he just overcomes a lot of things, bro. That's why he's showing up on TV because he's like, man, I ain't worried about this.
Yeah, like what do you? And you know what? My thing is when he showed up and everybody was like, "Oh, this is bullshit." He didn't even say anything. We know what you wanted him to say, but what did you expect him to say? Want and an expectation is two different things.
Yeah, he obviously wasn't going to come out and talk about.
Yeah, what do you?
He wasn't going to come out. He's like, yeah, I cheated on my wife, and
I did this. What do you think? Like, what did you think he was going to say? That's my thing. Is like,
Donnie Blade. Shout out to Donnie
Blade. Shout out to Donnie. I like Donnie.
Donnie Blade.
He made great content.
Thoughts on Dynamite tonight and Forbidden Door? If you guys, any of you guys watched Dynamite tonight?
I didn't watch Dynamite. I did not.
Okay, well, Forbidden Door it's looking okay. I think the audition of Okada definitely makes it better. They're still missing some key stars, because injuries like Naito. I'm not sure if he's going to be there. Obviously, CM Punk won't be there. Bryan Danielson's going to be out, and Kenny Omega's out right now too. So they're definitely missing some key players, but. Overall, though, I think the show is going to be a banger, though, and I'm hoping they do a Forbidden Door 2 in the future because when everybody can come back healthier, when you guys got like Kenny Omega and Punk and Bryan, that's going to be even a bigger deal. So,
Yeah, I think it's a little disappointing. It's like, I don't know, because like as a fan, I'm a little disappointed that it's not all of these guys that have won in, but then it's like, if I just look at it as a fan, I get to see Jay White, I get to see Okada, I get to see all of this stuff. And like, so it's hard to really complain about it because it's going to be great, but I didn't think Dynamite was good tonight.
Thoughts on Triple H going back to NXT? I've seen this picture of this logo going around too, like this new black and gold. I don't know if it's real or not. I mean, I don't really can't believe everything you see on the internet, but
Hey,
as far as Triple H going back to NXT, this could be big signs. I mean, NXT 2.0 isn't bad though. I don't dislike it. I don't think it's it's not terrible. Is it black and gold NXT? Obviously not. I think everybody knows that, but I don't dislike it though. And I mean, as Triple H is back in NXT full time and he's gonna be taking over again, then the future's only bright again. Because I mean,
hopefully he has that control though. That's my biggest worry. Is like they'll send him down there and he won't have the control that he needs to do what he got to do.
I think he has a lot of influence though, and I think he has like a lot of those wrestlers like saw him as like a dad. I know like a lot of them are gone, but and if Triple H is having a big say in creative, and then like we look at NXT 2.0 and it's not black and gold, but then like you look at some of the guys, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, like there's a ton of people that you're like, these can be main roster stars. And I'm not talking like there's one or two, there's like 10 to 12. Like there's some actual like major players in NXT 2.0.
Like who's your top three?
Carmelo Hayes.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, Braun Breaker definitely for sure. If that guy ain't gonna be world champion in the future, then I just don't. They'd really fumble in the bag. Braun Breaker, I'm gonna say Mandy Rose. I think when she comes back up to the main roster, she's going to be a legit star. I think she's revived herself a lot, and she's done great things with Toxic Attraction and the NXT Women's Championship. And another one, I always liked this team, but after the match they had to win the tag titles, the Creed brothers, man, those guys are fucking incredible, bro. Like if they can be such a good tag team, bro. And I just feel like I'm really hoping, because it's iffy with the tag team division on the main roster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just depends, but they're so legit, bro. Such a good tag team. Like if they can get to the main roster and have a tremendous amount of success, they can be a legendary WWE tag team. Like they're really incredible. So those will be my three. I would say Carmelo Hayes, but I don't really think they're gonna do nothing on the main roster. I think his size doesn't fit what Vince really wants. I think he's really good, but I've seen a lot of people who were better than him come to the main roster and they didn't do nothing with those guys. So if guys like Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe, Aleister Black, Ricochet, just to name a few, if those guys didn't have any hope, I don't think Carmelo Hayes has too much.
Isn't that crazy how Ricochet came to WWE and just like they fumbled the bag on Ricochet?
I loved Ricochet. It is funny to me because like I loved Ricochet.
When he was Prince Puma. Did you watch Lucha Underground?
Lucha Underground was so dope, Joe.
Lucha Underground is like that time in wrestling. I was so hyped. It was probably my favorite company at that small point.
One of my favorite matches was Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the season finale, like that Azteca match or whatever. Oh my god.
Yeah,
so
I think that's where I first saw Will Ospreay versus Rey Mysterio.
Really?
I think that was in because he was like giving him his flowers and shit, and that's where I learned about Will Ospreay.
Ospreay, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the Ricochet Will Ospreay match in New Japan that like set the internet on fire in like 2017. They do so many flips in the match that
yeah.
I mean, every single wrestler had to have their opinion out on it, and I remember like listening to all these people upset, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin, dude, ain't done a flip in his life, was like, oh, I loved it so much. Yeah. And I was like, man, if it's good enough for he was just like, no, he was like, they told a story in the ring. He was like, I don't.
Yeah, people misplacing that. Like, if it could tell a story, if it could.
Yeah.
And times in wrestling change too. Like these people nowadays are so much more athletic than they've ever been. And like we grew up in the era where we had great characters and great technical physicality wrestlers like that. And it was some people may be able to do flips and shit like that. That's why people like Rey Mysterio were so cool. Because he was able to do, or Psychosis and Juventud Guerrero. These guys, luchadors, or even somebody like Rob Van Dam, like even the guys who do kind of just do cool more shit, but these guys like Ricochet and Will Ospreay, these guys are doing 630s, like all types of, like double backflips. You're like, what is this? Like all types of crazy athletic stuff. So I think it's dope, man. I don't mind the flippy stuff. If it entertains me and puts on a good match, that's all I care about the other day. I don't really care how many flips you do.
You know what? Like I can kind of understand like Ricochet not being like a world champion or anything because I don't really think that like he's like super compelling like as a on the mic. But like I'm still surprised back in the day like John Morrison never got that because I thought Morrison had both. I thought he was
couldn't get
compelling
behind
enough.
Morrison.
The
Man,
way
I've
the
heard
way,
that so many times. Like people just can't get behind Morrison. I love them.
no, but honestly, the way the Miz turned out, that's how I thought John Morrison was gonna
Yeah,
be.
the same thing. Yeah,
Nah.
absolutely.
No. The Miz is way like they're just
The
too
Miz, the only thing that stands out, the Miz had the better mic skills, and he had
Yeah.
the better. He had the better mic skills, and he had more charisma as far as being a character
He's
and
just more interesting. He
Yeah.
attracting
dresses
heel
better.
heat. But like everything else, John Morrison was so good in the ring and everything. But it's just the way Miz was. I thought that's how John Morrison was gonna be.
Well, like the Miz was like chick magnet, right? Like he kind of had like a kind of corny
Bro, this
gimmick.
guy used to come out with like gloves and like
Fedora,
Fedora.
like, yeah.
This guy, like
So I thought too because I was like, yeah, Miz is better on the mic, but Morrison wasn't terrible on the mic or anything. And then like it was like Morrison was a way better wrestler. So they did the Sean Genetti comparison with all of them, and Morrison was always considered Sean, and it was actually the Miz that ended up being
Really?
the Sean. Yeah.
I never thought Miz was gonna be the way he was today. I mean, he definitely exceeded my expectations. Like now,
Yeah.
what Vince saw back then, I didn't see it, but now I'm like, okay. Like,
However, I was riding with the Miz during that was it WrestleMania 27, the main
the
event.
match against John Cena.
Man, they two the Hate Me Now. I don't care what anybody says like Brian's Monster or My Way with Rocket. No, the greatest ever WrestleMania like the package is Hate Me Now with Miz. That's the best.
I don't know about that one.
I love it so much.
That's the Miz's favorite too. He called it a vignette.
Yeah.
That was pretty
It's
cool too. I mean, I don't know though. I still feel like at that time the Miz he just wasn't a main event guy to me at that time. Like I just didn't see it. Like I honestly really didn't start getting into the Miz during that 2016 Intercontinental Championship run.
That's when you got into him?
That's when he made me a believer. Like, okay,
That's the only time Dolph was good.
That's no. Dolph was definitely better than before then. They just never utilized it. I mean, the Miz was always cool to me after that, but like that's when I really kind of felt like he could be world champion again, and I would like definitely think he deserves to be the world champion again. But before that, I just didn't see it, man. He didn't appeal to me. Like he just wasn't up there for me. Like I just didn't see him.
I think he needs a good world champion heel run, like a nice,
I would
lengthy
really like
one.
it, you know.
I love the Miz. I appreciate him so much.
Who you got SummerSlam, Brock or Roman? So first off, how do you guys feel about the rematch again? I mean, when it was first announced, were you guys like, oh my gosh, like another one, or like, I mean, originally we know that it was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton, they said he might be out for the rest of the year due to back surgery. Do you feel like it's lazy booking? Do you feel like they could have done something differently? Or I mean, they did add a stipulation to it. I think that's what makes it more intriguing for me, that it's a last man standing match. So it's like, okay. They finally added the stipulation, which we all wanted at WrestleMania, but like now they finally added it at SummerSlam. I'm gonna put my 2 cents on it. I feel like they could have done different scenarios. I feel like if you really needed another big main event to replace Randy and Roman, you could have either did Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley, because after Hell in a Cell, he kind of like teased he was going back to that direction. And at the Elimination Chamber, Bobby lost the championship, but he was never pinned or submitted in that match. He was taken out due to injury, so like he still has a claim to get a rematch for the championship. And we haven't seen Roman versus Bobby yet for the title, you know what I mean? So that's fresh and it's new. Or if you really want another big sellout main event, we could just do Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Yep. Like I know Seth Rollins is in Money in the Bank. I know a lot of people want him to win Money in the Bank and cash in Heist of the Century Part 2, but it's like there's still the story there from the Royal Rumble, because Roman Reigns still hasn't proven he can beat Seth Rollins, because he didn't beat Seth Rollins. You know, he got disqualified. He's never pinned Seth Rollins before. So it's like, if you really wanted another big main event, you could have just did Roman Reigns for Seth Rollins. I think people would have been so gravitated towards that, because a lot of people out there want Seth to be the one to beat Roman. And it's like, can Roman really beat Seth? You know what I'm saying? Can he really do it type thing? You know what I mean? So I will say though, the last man standing stipulation intrigues me, because I know Roman Reigns might be the clear-cut favorite, but it's like Brock Lesnar don't lose much. And is he really going to lose another big match for the title, and especially a last man standing match? Like,
so then we get Brock champion again?
But Brock don't lose that much. He's already lost twice. I mean,
I don't know.
He lost to Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble, and he already lost to Roman at WrestleMania. So it's like, does he really lose another big match? And it's a last man standing match at that too. So it's like,
if I may, I think they could have made 2 big matches as opposed to one big match, but they feel as big I'm hail to the tribal chief. So anybody that the tribal chief goes against, he's just gonna come in there, smash him, and then he's gonna leave. That's all that's gonna happen. But they could have had Roman beef with maybe Riddle, give Riddle that push with Roman, and they could have had Brock beef with somebody. I think there's no way I don't think WWE is dumb enough to do this again, like without any. I think they're gonna throw a curveball at us. Matter of fact, I think somebody's gonna make an appearance.
Who do you think?
I think somebody's gonna be very disappointed with their little nephew, with their little cousin.
Oh,
I think somebody. So Mark,
think it's gonna be The Rock.
Man, I can smell it.
I can smell it.
I can smell
What
it.
about you? What about you, John?
So, I mean, I feel like I was saying the same thing everybody else was saying. I wasn't excited about Rock and Roman. I genuinely really loved that SmackDown match between Riddle and Roman. I thought that Riddle did. I thought he had a great performance. But the thing that just like makes me upset about this match is just like, in my opinion, I feel like we see Roman win and it's not close. I mean, maybe if we get The Rock coming out, that might change some things. But I feel like it's going to be Roman beating Brock, and it was just
you don't think there's any chance Brock Lesnar could win this?
I mean, if it's something like The Rock, but like I don't think that it's just Brock winning and there's like not maybe if the Usos are turning on Roman or anything, but we haven't got enough build up for that. You know what I mean? So it's just like I think that Roman is
But you
winning.
don't think Brock Lesnar legit get this last man standing to beat Roman?
Well, but Riddle can legit beat Roman, right? Like Riddle was a UFC fighter, you know what I'm saying? But like,
how legit we talking?
But Riddle
could legit beat Roman.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying like, so
but
Brock.
it's two different things. This is Brock Lesnar we're talking about.
I get it, but like,
how many times has Brock Lesnar? How many times does he really lose throughout the year? In the last 5 years, how many matches did he really lose?
I get it, but like, what story did they do at WrestleMania to have Roman win, just to have him lose at SummerSlam? Like something major would have to happen, like the bloodline.
I mean, I think a lot of people are looking at it as Brock is really the only legit guy on the roster to believe at this point, believable enough to beat Roman.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think it's necessarily lazy booking. I think it's safe booking. Like I think it's safe to put in Roman and Brock because you know that's
it's gonna draw. I mean,
it's gonna draw.
Oh yeah. Regardless, we are tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm going to SummerSlam, so it's like, bro, be there. Like
but I kind of
go ahead.
I kind of get disappointed with the way that they treat Brock. Like this isn't even on Brock. I think Brock's actually been super entertaining the last like 2 years.
What do you mean? They treat him really good.
No, sure, they treat him really good, but I feel like, and maybe I am speaking for Brock, and Brock's like, shut up. I want to do this. I want to be in the title picture 24/7. But like the way that Randy has like been a part of RK Bro, and he can like, it feels like Brock's always at the top, right? But then there's no movement that he can do. There's no creative like differences that he can have. And it just got like I'd love to see Riddle versus Brock because Riddle's always wanted to face Brock. For him to do something, for Brock to be in a tag team, do something like what Cena was doing.
Imagine Brock winning a tag team,
right? The Cena winning the US Championship was like
I feel like at this stage in Brock's career, he should just feud with guys, tell stories. You know what I'm saying? But I do think Brock's at the point where it's like. He's also like a John Cena. Like he can't lose much because he loses credibility. So it's like, how many big matches can he really lose like that? You know what I mean? I feel like it would be a little bit bigger to me if it was like the Beast Brock. Cowboy Brock is cool, but like
I like Cowboy Brock way better.
Cowboy Brock is more goofy and everything. He's not the Beast.
He's just more realistic. Like
Beast Brock felt like he could never lose at some point.
Cowboy Brock is a tag team champion. No, I can see that vision.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I just feel like imagine if Brock came back like the week before SummerSlam. He cut his beard off, cut his hair again. He looked like the Beast Brock. Then I would be like, oh shit, like he fighting the Beast Brock. Like that's different. That's a different Brock Lesnar. So it's like now it's like what's really gonna happen? Because like Cowboy Brock is still Brock Lesnar, but he's just a little bit more goofy and everything. Like he's just like you know he's more entertaining for the fans, shit like that. And I think it takes a little bit of credibility from his intensity, a little bit, just a little bit, but I don't know though. I mean, I still think Roman wins. I mean, he would be my favorite if I had to pick. I do think something will go down. I think, especially if Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank. I mean, if he wins Money in the Bank, I definitely could see maybe a Money in the Bank cash in. I would be more surprised if one of these, whether it's Brock or Roman, one of the guys win, and then like SummerSlam's over with. Like one of those two win, and then like that's the end of the, like, all right, that's the end of the show. No surprise. I'm like I'd be more.
That would be wild.
Like that'd be more disappointing than anything. Like that's it. Like no, like. And knowing WWE, that's probably what they're gonna do. Honestly, that's like legit. Probably what will happen.
Can you smell it?
I can smell it. I can smell it. Again, I can smell it. Zay 3.0 in the chat. Shout out to Zay 3.0 showing love to Ramon.
What up, Zay?
From the profile, I'm pretty sure I know the TikToker that he is, and he also enjoys Peach Parmesan. Yeah. So shout outs to Peach Paul.
Who's the next AEW superstar to go to WWE? What do you guys think about that?
That's a great question.
Who do you think the next one will be?
I mean, is it easy to just say MJF?
Yeah, no, and not allowed.
I got a wild one. I don't know if he'll be the next one, but eventually I think Kenny Omega will go to WWE.
Really?
Yes.
I would be shocked at that.
I would love that.
I don't think I'd be too shocked. I know he was like really close by signing before, but you know, like
and he's more of a sports entertainer to me. Like he has that personality a little.
Well,
more.
it's just that's really the last thing for him to do in his career, to make it in the WWE. He's made it in New Japan. He's obviously thrived in AEW. Impact. He was the world champion, so it's like to go to WWE and to make it there. That's literally the last thing on the bucket list for him to accomplish. Like, and he could be the only guy to say like I was the AEW world champion, New Japan champion, Impact champion, and the WWE champion. Like if he can get that, like that's history. Like nobody's ever. That's a big if the WWE uses him that way. But I mean, I'm not for sure. If,
they would be foolish not to.
I think some like outside the box. I think Sammy. I think Sammy could go to WWE. I think the fans have just turned on him in a way that like Cody was turned on, that they're just like, all right, get this dude off my screen. And that dude is way too talented to have people be like, to get this dude off my screen. He go to WWE. Him and Ty are major players. Like that is a staple.
Do you really see the WWE using him? That's the thing, though. Like
I think so. I think he's got like I think that he's great in AEW, but
yeah, is he WWE quality in like
Absolutely. I think so.
I disagree. I don't see no way. Sammy, you know how we was talking about how Vince has a certain image of a wrestler and it's just going to be some big dude and everybody else is a little more patient. I feel like Sammy's like too much. He's like Ricochet, just not as Ricochet is a little more acrobatic. I don't know. I just don't see Sammy being used.
There's only a couple people that I could see. There's only really like 3 people I could see in AEW, like off the top of my head, that would thrive in WWE that weren't there, like as top guys or top people. Kenny Omega, I definitely think they would do him right. Wardlow and Jade Cargill.
Jade's the pick. That one of my you're so right. Jade's the pick.
Do you like Jade?
I love Jade.
She's money, bro. She's so money.
Because of her attitude or what, or her wrestling. What do you guys think?
Bro, look at that. Look at her, bro. Like
she's so entertaining.
No. I like her. I just want to know what you guys think.
She looks so much different than all the other women. She's bigger, she's stronger, and like she's just money, bro. Like if she came to WWE, there's so many legit contenders she could fight. Her versus Bianca Belair that'd be so much money right there because of the athleticism and strength that they both have together. Her versus Ronda Rousey would be legit badass. And Charlotte Flair, just so. I mean, she could even be another China. You could even have her fight dudes if they really like. If they really want to go that route, like you could be like Jade Cargill versus like AJ Styles or something, like something crazy. You know what I mean? Like something like outside the box. I mean, like
Jade versus Bianca would be crazy. Jade versus Rhea would be crazy. Like Jade would have an entire year or 2 feuds before she ever needed like any story. She would already have that in WWE.
This one's a good one right here. How long till Gunther get the push? Big push, small push. What do you think? What's your gut telling? Do you think Gunther, aka Walter, will get a legit push, or you think it's not gonna happen? What do you think, Odemir?
Gunther, I don't know. I think he's boring as fuck. Like that. Yeah, I know.
We don't agree there.
I know. No,
that's tragic.
I just don't. To me, I just never seen it and said, "Can't wait till Gunther comes on."
You didn't even like his stuff when he was in NXT or NXT UK, like as Walter.
No.
The match against Ilya Dragunov.
No. The match against Pete Dunne.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. What did you say the last one?
The match against Pete Dunne.
Oh no. I thought you meant Pete Dunne. I like Pete Dunne instead of this Butch shit he got going. I don't like Walter, bro. I'm sorry. I don't like him.
That's crazy.
I know. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I want to believe that they'll push him, but I don't know with WWE, man. It's hard to say. Like, he has the size, and he has a great look, and he's a lot different than everybody else. He's a great wrestler too. So it's like, I want to believe that they will, they will make a star to him, but my gut is kind of telling me they probably won't.
I don't think that he'll get like a major push. I mean, he's an Intercontinental Champion, and you can make arguments on how much that means anymore.
They don't give a shit about that title.
Right. But they gave Ricochet like 0 matches on the pay-per-view ever with that title. But
The Intercontinental title, I believe, hasn't been defended on pay-per-view since WrestleMania last year.
that's tragic.
That's not okay.
And Gunther, I think, is phenomenal. But the way I think that is kind of like, when Cody came in and they didn't change anything about Cody, they were like, hey, we're buying into Cody. That's kind of the opposite of what they did with Walter. Like, Walter was this big, I mean, he's still doing the chops and everything, but they're like, you need to change your look. Like, they took Imperium, and then they're like, all right, we're just going to make it Ludwig. And like, they're kind of changing so much about him.
They changed a lot of him, bro. He had to lose a lot of weight, and which was good for him. They changed the name, and they definitely took Imperium away, which I didn't understand that either. So it's like, the fact that they made a lot of changes for him, I'm like,
yeah. I don't think that they're like buying into Walter from when they got him, or even NXT UK Walter.
Top 3 title matches that happen at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Title matches. That's a good question right there. I would definitely say John Cena versus Kevin Owens, the U.S. title match in 2015. That was absolutely incredible. Yeah. I'm gonna say, let me make sure. I want to narrow it down because I want to make sure that
There's one obvious one.
I did like Seth and Roman. Seth and Roman was pretty dope. I don't know if I would throw that into my main ones. Roman and Edge. I'm gonna throw Roman and Edge in there from last year. I really liked Roman and Edge, so I'll throw that one in there for me. And my last one would be AJ and Seth Rollins.
You forgetting one?
Am I? I don't think so. Those are my 3.
Cena Punk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that was at Money in the Bank, so never mind. Okay, let me redo mine. Okay, John Cena, CM Punk for sure. I wasn't even thinking that far back. I don't even know why.
Right.
John Cena versus CM Punk. I would definitely say John Cena versus Kevin Owens as well. Yep. And if I had to pick one more, I had to narrow down. I'll say Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. I'll narrow down to that. I did like Roman and Edge, but if I had to exclude one, then I would exclude that one. That one was okay. That one's okay to not be on the list. But CM Punk definitely number 1. I definitely forgot about that.
Yeah. I think that Cena Punk and then Cena Owens are the first 2 that come to my mind. I don't know if I have a third one. I'm very bad at like remembering matches.
Cena, you don't remember Styles and Rollins? It was fire.
No, I remember that, but I just didn't. I'm trying to think back on all of the matches. Like, that's a great match.
Remembering the matches is easy. It's just knowing that it was Money.
Yeah, it was at Money in the Bank. Yes, this is why I'm scared to do Jeopardy, because I'm like, oh man, like they show like a random match with like it's like red ropes. I'm like, bro, I don't know if that's Battleground. I don't know if that.
Me and Phil.
Bro, I was watching it. I cannot believe that the comeback happened.
Yeah,
next Jeopardy's tomorrow too, man. So John, I mean, I'm just saying, it's a brotherhood Jeopardy too. It's for everybody in the chat too. So
I bet.
So, I mean, if there's spots if you want to be in.
All right,
tomorrow, what time?
9 o'clock tomorrow. It'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow. So.
9 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
EST.
I stood him up, man. The first podcast, he was like, make sure you be there at 8 o'clock Eastern. And I didn't peep that he said Eastern. I showed up at 8 o'clock. And he's like, bro, where the fuck you at?
I don't know. So just to get for everybody to know you a little bit more, I don't know if I even know this from you 2 guys, but who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Ramondo, who's your favorite?
Mine? People think it's The Rock, but it's not. It's Eddie Guerrero.
I'm about to say Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, yeah, he is everything.
I feel like most the Hispanic people, it's Eddie Guerrero is just like the guy, man. Like it's
really racist. That is extremely racist. No,
it's either Eddie Guerrero or usually Rey Mysterio, but like most people I know say Eddie Guerrero, and I don't know why too. It's like I was always kind of like that too. I was never.
It's relatable. Honestly, that's why I loved Eddie, because he was so relatable. And then my mother went through some shit too and bounced back very well. So I was able to, Eddie made me feel like home, I guess, too. And you never saw, and Eddie was funny. A lot of times, a lot of Hispanics would be laughed at as opposed to laughed with. Eddie was legitimately funny, and he worked with everyone. Ric Flair, when he stole Triple H's wallet, like they just like he was just legitimately something.
Well, I think too though, like it's whether you're Hispanic or you're a different race, like when you see somebody that may look like you or is like the same heritage as you and they like succeed and stuff like that, you know, you instantly want to support them because it's like, oh, like they're one of me, like they're my culture, they speak my language, you know what I'm saying? Like
Brock,
I relate to them.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Eddie Guerrero's feud that they have, I will go before the gym. I will watch that promo sometimes when I'm really like, I feel like I need to be inspired, I guess. I will watch. I do get high. I get high from them.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah. What about you, John? Who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Let me guess. Let me see what you're probably. I'm thinking you're like a Shawn Michaels guy or something, or like
no. My turn. Wait. My turn. Oh, I already know.
Yeah.
Wait.
Was that what you were gonna guess?
No,
you're not. Okay. I'm gonna get three. I'm gonna say either Shawn Michaels. Oh, but you do like Jeff. You do like no. Matt Hardy's in your top five. I know that. I mean, Matt Hardy's in your top five.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Jeff. I don't think it's Jeff. I'm trying to figure. You got the painted nails and stuff. I don't know.
I do got the painted nails.
I'm gonna say either Jeff Hardy or you a John Cena guy like myself.
See, he doesn't watch your stuff, Johnny.
I mean,
I remember he made his top five because I remember Matt Hardy was in the top, and everybody was like, "Matt Hardy in your top five? Like, what is this?" Like,
yeah, I didn't say my top five.
No.
But I did have Matt. It was in there, right? Yeah. No, my number one is Jeffrey Nero Hardy.
Jeff Hardy. Okay.
Yeah. Jeffrey Nero.
Yeah.
Nero Hardy.
Yeah, I love Jeff. He was.
I kind of you got the hair and the painted nails. So
yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know if he's Jeff Hardy.
You got the earring too?
I do. Yeah, this is a Cowboy Bebop.
I was about to say.
Yeah, this is
anime. Jeff Hardy guy, man. Jeff. Why was Jeff Hardy your favorite?
So I got into wrestling when I was 2 years old, and it was Sting immediately. My dad didn't know that I was into wrestling. I was literally at Walmart, and I was like, "Dad, I gotta get the Sting toy. Nobody can beat the Stinger." And he was like, "My kid's into wrestling." And secretly, I was watching it with my great grandma. So he was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna sit you down and like we're gonna watch." And I think my mom was watching WCW. My dad was watching WWE. Like they were like loyal to the brands, and so it was Cleveland, Ohio, at the Q. 1998, Jeff Hardy or the Hardys versus Edge and Christian in the ladder match. That was the first ever tag team ladder match. And it was for like people remember it was for the money, but it was also for like Terry, which was weird. But then I don't know, I just saw those dudes and it was just like everything about Jeff.
Wait a minute, they did all that for Terry?
Yeah, they won. It was the Terry Invitational, and like they won to like have Terry as I think it was like to have her as the valet. And then
is that when Edge speared Jeff?
No, that was
WrestleMania.
That was WrestleMania 17. And then
the match time I was at No Mercy. It was like literally like a bag hanging above the ring. Like you had to grab the bag like for the money and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't know. Jeff was always. I was always so like. I saw a tweet like last year or so that related so heavily to me because it was like every kid back in like 2008. It was Jeff Hardy. It was Lil Wayne, or it was just like because my idols were Jeff Hardy, Lil Wayne, and Allen Iverson. And it was like he was a shorter dude. He wasn't this muscled up dude. I was always the short kid. I related to like Allen Iverson, Jeff Hardy, and Jeff and Allen Iverson and like all those people just completely like wore whatever they wanted to wear. They just moved to the like their own beat.
Yeah.
And just I've always just kind of loved that about all of those people.
It's dope, man. It's dope. Anybody know my favorite wrestler of all time? I think it's obvious.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think I've said it many times.
Yeah.
Cena. Cena was always.
So what's your top five?
John Cena.
My top five favorites?
Yeah.
Well, let's see if you guys can guess. You know number one. Excluding John Cena.
Okay.
See if you can guess the other four.
All right, Cena. I'm gonna say Shawn's in there.
Keep going. I'll let you guys know.
I'm gonna say Taker's in there. I'm gonna say, I don't know if Roman's already up there. I'll put Roman in. Screw it. And that era, I'm gonna say Edge.
What about you, Rolando?
Without excluding John Cena?
You know Juan Cena's on there, so
right.
Juan Cena. John Cena, Roman Reigns, Shawn Michaels. I know you really travel back there a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Oh man. Triple H and Stone Cold.
Yeah, my top 10 to you guys. So John Cena's number one. My second favorite wrestler of all time is The Undertaker. My third favorite wrestler of all time is Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
Nice.
My fourth is The Rock. And as of right now, my fifth has always been Kurt Angle, but it's probably going to be replaced by Roman Reigns soon.
All right, so 3 out of 5. Almost
Reigns.
3 out of 5.
Roman Reigns is like really close to getting in my top 5, but those are my 5 favorites of all time.
That's solid.
Who's your 5, John?
So go ahead,
go
Jan.
ahead.
You said Jeff Hardy.
Yep.
Matt Hardy's in there. I know that because you
Yep.
already said Matt Hardy. I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels. I'm gonna say John Cena because he should be, and I'm gonna say AJ Styles. I don't know why I'm getting AJ Styles vibes from you. He was a TNA guy. He seemed like a TNA guy too. So
I was a TNA guy. Ramondo, do you have a guess?
I'm like right there with him.
Yeah.
Essentially the same shit.
So number 1 is Jeff for sure.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 is CM Punk, which is weird, but like he felt like the next Jeff.
CM Punk's in my top 10.
3 is probably Matt. 4 is probably Rey Mysterio,
Mhm.
and 5 is probably Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah. I think there's like I actually wasn't as big of AJ Styles fan. I was more of a Samoa Joe guy because I got really into Ring of Honor.
Okay.
And then Stone Cold Steve Austin and Macho Man. Macho Man's from Columbus. I always have to rep Macho Man.
Rondo, let's say you got Eddie Guerrero. I'm gonna say Eddie. You said Cena. You said like Cena, so I'm gonna say Cena's in there. I'm gonna say Triple H. You seem like a Triple H guy. I'm gonna say Randy Orton too. I don't know. I'm getting Randy Orton vibes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna say, I'll say Undertaker.
Okay.
Yeah, Undertaker.
I'm gonna say it was Eddie, The Rock.
Oh, take out Undertaker. I'll say Roman because you do like Roman a lot, so he might be. Our
Yeah. You know what? I wasn't even gonna say Roman. So yeah, thank you. Eddie, Rock, Roman.
The Rock. That's right. Oh no, The Rock got to be in there because I remember.
It gotta be.
Yeah, The
Gotta
Rock.
be. Eddie, Rock, Roman, Cena, and what year were you born?
90.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Sean.
I'm gonna say Eddie Guerrero, the John Cena, The Rock, Triple H, and Randy Orton.
I think you guys would be surprised. Is Eddie Guerrero, The Rock. Okay, you guys got that. Kurt Angle,
I was gonna say Kurt. Damn it.
Kane,
Oh, I was gonna say Kane.
and Triple H.
Oh, okay,
I would never-
nice.
I would never say Kane. I would never say Kane.
Yeah.
My mom's favorite wrestler of all time is Kane.
Kane was
So I'll say like when I first started watching wrestling, my first favorite wrestler was Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
He was so cool to me, bro. Like the light cheating, stealing. You know, he was funny. He had charisma, and you know I was big into like lowriders when I was a kid too. So he come out the lowrider stuff like that. I'm like, who's this guy? So cool, man. Like this guy is like dope, man. But like I started watching in 04. Eddie was my favorite, and then Cena was starting to become my guy, and I could tell you like the exact moments when I really fell in love with wrestling. It was the 2005 Royal Rumble, like that whole match, like the whole Royal Rumble match, and it came down to Cena and Batista, and like the crowd was going insane. I remember like feeling like goosebumps. Like I wasn't even like familiar with it, but I was into it. I was like, bro, like, oh my god, like who's gonna win in film? And it's like I was really starting to get more heavy into it. But the moment I was already a Cena fan, but instantly when John Cena became my favorite was the I Quit match with JBL.
Yeah.
After that I Quit match,
Love JBL.
the crimson mask, the blood, when this guy, like, you know, I'm a kid at the time. So, like, this guy, like,
Yeah.
he's obviously bleeding, like, to death. And, like, he doesn't quit. He's holding both belts up at the end. I'm like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Top 10 JBL's in it for me.
JBL's in your top 10?
JBL's in my top 10. I love JBL.
What was the appeal of JBL? Because I didn't get JBL.
He was such the
JBL
way
was dope, man.
the way he was
I didn't
he was to me he was one of the best heels in like yo I love JBL, his heel work, especially when he had, I guess it's because I hated him so much when he
Right.
beat with Eddie Guerrero.
That's
So
true, yeah.
Eddie Guerrero was my favorite, and like he was my least favorite as far as heel work goes. But man, JBL is severely underestimated.
That's how I feel about Edge. I hated Edge growing
Oh
up.
no, I still hate Edge.
So
I'm petty.
Okay, so take the whole.
You holding a grudge?
Yeah, because the mask stuff, absolutely. I hate Edge and Lita.
Hey,
Smart.
all Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy fans are like that too. Like they can't let it go, bro. Like they
No,
can't.
I don't care.
They can't let it go. Lita's my favorite women's wrestler of all time, though. I didn't honestly, because I was never a big Hardy Boys person, so it didn't really hurt me that much. I was like, okay, like, it's fucked up, but I'm like, I'm not going to, I ain't gonna hold it against you. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
I love me some Lita.
But it's like, man, I don't know, man. It's just like Edge, bro. He really used to get to me as a kid, man. Maybe because I'm a big Cena fan too, but it's like, man, the shit he used to do. Well, I mean, I guess you could say it all did start back with Lita because Lita was my favorite. She was my favorite women's wrestler. Then he was Edge. Like, it was gross. I mean, it was Edge. And then like when he cashed the Money in the Bank on Cena, bro, that right there, man. Oh my gosh, bro. I'll never forgive Edge for that. Tell me not forgiveness. I'll forever hate him.
I mean, Edge is probably my top 20 greatest wrestlers of all time, but in terms of favorite, I hate him.
Yeah, Edge is he's definitely some wild times, man. I remember that going all the time too, because like it's before social media even broke out. So like you were hearing like all these rumors, like what is going on?
That's crazy. If you heard it through like the grapevine.
And then like legit, like Matt was just showing like they would just have Matt show up and just like attack Edge out of nowhere. So just like
they had Matt like show up at ROH and like think about it like in 2022, like if you have like this dude that got released and then he shows up to the other company like dissing the wrestler in WWE, like that would still go. So, it didn't matter if like people knew that it was fake or not. Like people
honestly, so to this day, I don't know how they were able to work together. I know.
No, never in a million. I've never understood it
because it's not like it's not like that. I mean, I get that Vince was looking at it money wise. I'm sure they made tons of money doing it, but it's like it's not like it was like years. Like this was fresh. Like it's just happened. Like maybe months. It was very fresh. Like this is like the wound was still open. So it's like, you and Edge are gonna have this little thing together and Lita and everything, and like
and for real, like that really catapulted Edge into like the world title scene of like this is dude
that made him such a bigger heel because like
became the top heel. And
didn't Edge go over on that?
Yeah, no, dude, Edge went over and like Matt didn't. I think Matt won one match on Raw.
Matt won the steel cage match. Yeah, he did the big leg drop, but
that was it.
SummerSlam, he beat the shit out of Matt, like bloody, and then like the last one,
crazy.
Well, they had a street fight, which in a draw, because that's when he did the side effect off the stage, and then the last one was the ladder match when Matt Hardy went to SmackDown, like he had to leave Raw, which that was understandable, but like I think the shock value was like. They definitely did some shocking stuff with that feud because, like, the SummerSlam match when he beat the fuck out of Matt and he was bleeding to death, people were like, "What the fuck?" Like, and he's Edge the bad guy, so it's like, bro, he just Matt Hardy, bro. And
dude, he didn't even get over in a storyline.
No, like, and I still believe to this day that if they would have made Matt or if they would have done it like more of like these dudes feud for a year, like these dudes have some like serious feud that it would have made not only Edge the top heel, which he would like. I feel like when they had Matt come out and like he starts beating up Edge, they're like, Edge is kind of the top heel now. And then I feel like if they gave Matt more of that, I always still believe Matt could have been world champion.
But you can't make Matt a heel with that situation. There's
no. I think that Matt could have been top tier baby.
And around that time, like 2005, like the whole Matt Hardy will not die stuff, bro. Yeah, Matt Hardy was the shit right then. Bro.
Yeah. Like, every fan was behind him. Like if they would have put that feud with the world title, no one would have complained.
Not to sound messy, but now Matt and Edge are happily married, and Lita's super single.
Oh damn.
I mean, like I said, it was some crazy times though. Like I do remember watching that
home wrecker. No, I'm just kidding.
It was some wild stuff, man. And just like I said, I would just never understand. Like if I ever did an interview with them, I would have to ask like, how were you able to like do that? Like it's just like because it's a legit personal like behind the scenes.
It's a big deal, bro.
And it's like, dude, dude still got his girl stolen and stuff like that by his friend. So it's like, how you not gonna clock dude in the match for real? Like, I got a bunch of this.
I mean, for real, like, I watched all like the Matt and Jeff like DVDs and everything, and they had this one. There's this one little tidbit that always sticks with me, and it's like they're interviewing Christian, they're interviewing Matt, they're interviewing everybody, and they said like Jeff left this like voicemail on Edge's phone, like threatening Edge, and it was like. They got Jeff to that point, and Jeff will like never get to like this angry, like I'm going to hurt you point. And I was like, there was like, I don't know. And because then Jeff and Edge like worked together, you know,
many times
later, but like they worked together many times. And just having all of that, I was like, I get that it's a job, you have to stay professional, but like you know that there's got to be some potatoes in that match. Like, there's got to be some real.
hell
Oh,
yeah,
for sure. I'm at least like if I got a chair, I'm at least getting one. I don't care.
there's not enough professionalism in the world. That shit is crazy. No way.
I mean, that could hurt too, man. Like like the bond you could have with a woman too. So like that could really hurt, man. Like especially if you're your friend too, like your friend. Like I don't know if I can do it, bro.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
way.
like no, Matt's talked about how much like him and like he was planning like marriage with Lita and everything. Like it was. Yeah.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
And it never gets talked about. Edge was with Val Venus's sister at the time, so
oh
he was-
my
Edge was
god.
married too at the time, so it's
yeah, that's right. He was married to Val Venus's sister,
married,
so like
yeah.
Val Venus had a
Oh
problem.
my
With it. Yeah,
god, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
Edge
caused
was
real
married.
locker room problems.
It was going down though. But like I said, I mean, they were able to do what they did, so that was pretty dope, man. Who was a wrestler that you never really cared for growing up? Maybe a wrestler that you didn't hate, but it's like you just never like. Maybe you didn't like hate them, but a lot of people liked them. You just never were like, like
Dolph Ziggler.
What?
Yeah,
Come on,
I don't get Dolph.
What, bro? Dolph is so good, man. That dude's
He
so good.
feels like he's like 30% Shawn Michaels. Like he just doesn't have the personality. He's fine in the ring. He's a great seller,
Yeah.
but like. I like Sasha Banks is a tremendous seller. She's also a compelling character. Like I'm interested in Sasha Banks. Dolph Ziggler, great seller, but like not a compelling character. I'm not interested in Dolph Ziggler.
Listen, fucking same, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
Let's go.
Dolph Ziggler to me is such a like.
He's so underrated, man. So underappreciated.
I know he's a great athlete. I want to like. So you remember when he was beefing with the Miz and the Miz just kept shitting on him, and then I was like, damn, I want Dolph Ziggler to win, but like I just wouldn't believe it. There's just no way. Just Dolph Ziggler doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Who's the wrestler that maybe a lot of people liked that you never really were a big fan of, or not nobody that you hated, just somebody that you just
just didn't see the appeal.
Never a big never on the bandwagon. I'll say never on the bandwagon train.
I guess right now, and it's starting to change. I guess Theory.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Theory's not bad. Well, you said Gunther too. You don't like Gunther.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what? Which one do you want me? It has. You know what? I don't care more for Gunther than I don't care for Theory. Yeah. Gunther.
I'll say for me, I'll probably say honestly, I'll say Rey Mysterio. I was never
What? You didn't get Ray?
Jeff Hardy too, man. I was never a big Jeff Hardy guy either.
Oh, what? Do you hate me? Like,
what? I mean, I like those guys. I think the main problem for Jeff Hardy with me is that they always put him against people that I liked more. Like it was always hard for me to root for him because he was always feuding with people that I liked more. Like when he was doing the whole run for the WWE title, right? And he's feuding against Triple H. But I like Triple H more than I like Jeff Hardy. I like CM Punk more than Jeff Hardy too. So like when he's feuding with Punk, it's hard for me to root against CM Punk because he's fighting. Jeff Hardy's fighting CM Punk. I'll say though, I was more into Jeff Hardy though during the TNA run from like 2010 to 2014. That's when I really was more into Jeff Hardy because like he was feuding against guys and he was becoming like so more popular too. I think he's probably more popular at that time too. I think honestly during that run, but it's like during that WWE time, I think he was just feuding against people more that I just liked more. Like I just never. It was hard for me to root. Like I wanted to root against him because like. When he beat Edge, for the world title, right? I'm like, oh, this is great, Jeff Hardy's world champion. But then CM Punk has some Money in the Bank, so I'm like, oh man, like, I'm not gonna hate CM Punk because I like CM Punk and I like CM Punk more than Jeff Hardy. So it's like,
are you still a CM Punk guy?
Absolutely, CM Punk's my top 10 favorites of all time. Absolutely,
yeah.
He's always
interesting.
I like CM Punk. Listen, CM Punk is so incredible to me, and I've said this before. CM Punk was the first guy ever to make me root against John Cena. The first guy to ever make the Money in the Bank match was the first time in my whole life I ever wanted John Cena to lose a match. And that was
I hated CM Punk back then. He was
that was hard for me to do because John Cena is my all-time favorite. So like I never wanted him to lose a match. But CM Punk legit was so over and getting so he was getting so popular for me. And I'm like, you know what? Like John Cena, he got to lose, bro. Like I want CM Punk to win this match, and I think it should happen that way. But yeah, I say more of Rey Mysterio. I was never a big Rey Mysterio guy. I was always more of an Eddie Guerrero guy, I think, too. And besides the chase to the world title when Eddie had passed and everything, that's like when I cared about Rey the most. But that was more just because Eddie was, had gone. Like you felt like you were vicariously living through Rey, to live on for Eddie's spirit. But I never just found myself rooting for him in a lot of matches. Like I never like he was just there to me. And I think what kind of hurt it for me too with WWE how they booked him sometimes. Like he would have a lot of momentum and then he's losing to like nobody's like he's just jobbing out to like random people. Like why is he losing to
He did job out a lot.
like why is he losing to like Kung Fu Naki or something? Like why
They made Ray like way too much of because he's small. It's believable for him to lose any match as well. Like he could beat Kali and Big Show in a triple threat, but then also he could lose to like you said like Funaki or somebody.
I think they try to make him too much of like the biggest underdog type thing too, a little much too. Like, oh, he's gonna lose, and then we're gonna build him back up. Like that doesn't work all the time. And like they've seen it so many times too. Like how many times can you do that? Like we get he's small, he's not bigger than everybody else, but like I don't know, man. I just feel like they made him. They kind of lessened him a little bit throughout the year. Even kind of the world title run. Like he even got the world title, but his run didn't really feel like it didn't feel special enough. You know what I mean? Like as it should have been. So I'll probably say those guys for me. I was never like a huge fan of or even like I was never like on the bandwagon. Like I was never obsessed like some people were because like you said, growing up around my time, like you were either like a John Cena fan, a Jeff Hardy fan, Batista, or like Rey Mysterio. Like those were like the guys pretty much. Like you one of those guys were your favorites, and Cena was always my favorite, and Batista was always one of my favorites too. And just Rey Mysterio kind of always fell out for me because he just never they never really did much with him to make me care about him a lot more. And then Jeff Hardy I really wanted to like him, but like I would always get mad when they would put him against people that I like more because like I'm not gonna root.
Yeah, you're not gonna go against. Yeah,
but you also
I'm not gonna go against my favorites over
match,
Jeff Hardy.
too.
Like I don't like Jeff Hardy like that. I mean, like when I'm like I want him to succeed, but it's like when you put him against Triple H, like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't.
I really wish Jeff and Cena would have had a nice feud. That would have been.
Man, that would have been.
Oh
great.
yeah, I agree.
Especially like 08, 09. My God.
Yeah, like they were so hot.
Man, that would have been amazing.
Both of them were hot.
Yeah.
I definitely think that would have been amazing too, though. But it's just like, see, in certain feuds like that too, I think what also hurt Jeff Hardy for me too is that the feuds that he was always in too, I never really saw him coming out on top. You know what I mean? Like as the winner, like he's not going to beat Cena in a feud. He may win a match here and there, but even like the CM Punk stuff, like I'm like, something's telling me that Punk's going to be the one to. Obviously, I didn't know the whole situation, like when he was going to leave and everything, but it's like I always felt the same for Mysterio too. Like you never felt like these guys were always going to come out on top of feud, and I think you kind of look at Seth Rollins kind of situation like that right now, where it's like he's having great feuds with people, but now he's in the point where it's like he's not winning feuds anymore. So now it's kind of like people are like, okay, like is he going to turn out to be one of those guys where like we like this guy a lot, but is he going to be jobbing out every feud that he's in?
Yeah, I think that it was always like for like Jeff and Ray fans, it was always more about like the journey that like, you ride with them. Like
yeah,
Jeff,
I mean the look, the journey, and everything. I think helped.
Like
too,
Jeff did the dumbest thing every single time, and if I ever do an interview with him, I'll always want to ask, like, why did you go on top of the cage and you could win the match and you decided to jump? Like it was like even as like a kid, I'm like, that's dumb. Don't do that. And like I love him, but like.
I think if you're a big Daredevil too, I mean, you instantly could. I mean, because a friend that I grew up with, shout out to Isaiah. His two favorites of all time are Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. And bro, this dude, like, I legit remember him crying when Jeff Hardy like lost CM Punk and he left the WWE. Like, bro, he was like, because he knew I like CM Punk. So he's like, bro, don't talk to me. Like, I don't want to say nothing. Like, Jeff Hardy's gone. Like, this crazy. Like, it's stupid. But like, I think it was more. He was kind of like a Daredevil as a kid. Like, he liked to do like he was a smaller guy. He liked to do like more crazy stuff. So like, if you're into that type of adrenaline stuff, I totally understand like why you would want like Jeff Hardy because like he does things that's unhumanly. Like why is he climbing 30 feet in the air and jumping off? Like I'm not doing that. So it's like why would he do it? But it's like it's the more of the excitement and the appealing. That's how I always kind of felt about Shane too. Like
absolutely.
When Shane on top of the Hell in a Cell, I'm like why? Like why are we doing this? But it's like it's cool. Like okay, like we're gonna do
Foley
it.
Foley too.
Foley too. It's like these people. And Ray too, I think I get it too. Ray more of the look and like the styles and everything. He's appealing. You know what I mean? So I can understand why people gravitated towards them. But I think more for me is I was always a little bit different. I kind of gravitated more towards character work for me. That kind of I'm more into character work. I don't know about how you guys are, but I'm more into character work than like in ring work. And most of my favorite wrestlers had characters that I gravitated towards.
Yep.
Like John Cena was my wrestling idol. I only ever had two idols in my whole life that I looked up to, and John Cena was one of them. So, I just always gravitated more towards like the character work and stuff like that. And I felt like if I really couldn't get into your character, then you're just like one of my favorites growing up, honestly.
Was so that's that I was gonna say. That's why I am so happy that there's different types of companies now, because WWE is more
What's up, Dad Trainer? How are you, man?
of the story type company, and AEW Impact is more wrestling and
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. It's like if you look at from like 2000, I started watching. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't start watching Impact till Kurt Angle went there.
That's still what 2006.
The 2006, but like when Kurt Angle was one of my favorite wrestlers, so when he went to
Right.
the TNA, I was like, okay, because my uncle's the one who got me into wrestling, and then like when he first started watching Impact, he was kind of telling me about it already, like, bro, you gotta watch TNA, like TNA really good, bro. I'm telling you, you gotta check it out, bro. And then like when Kurt Angle went there, I'm like, okay, well, I'm watching it.
Yo, Kurt Angle TNA was wild,
Amazing.
Amazing. Honestly, I think he probably had a better TNA career than WWE.
So,
honestly,
for sure.
I mean, his TNA career, the matches that he was having with guys like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and
Scruffy midlife crisis, Kurt Angle.
I mean, he was going through some real demons.
Yeah,
but I mean,
he was doing the Matt Hardy stuff. He was working with somebody that violated. He was dealing. Yeah,
I mean, he had feuds with like Desmond Wolfe, like it was Nigel McGuinness, and like I remember like that moment just being like, Kurt Angle was becoming like one of my favorite wrestlers in the world.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that he was doing in TNA was just godly, bro. Like his matches were like, I don't know, his matches were just like, bro, like, and his matches were just so appealing to me, bro. Like even before he went to TNA, like his WWE run, like I was always a big Kurt Angle guy too, because I did love his, I loved his work, with guys like Shawn Michaels and guys like Brock, stuff he even did with like Cena and stuff like that too. But the TNA stuff, man, that's what really, it really got me into. I remember when he was on like all the belts at once, like
the Main Event Mafia, like Kurt was one of those few dudes that it's Eddie, Kurt, Jericho, probably Shawn, that like when they went full blown heel, and like Eddie's was like much earlier in his career because then he just became lovable. But like all those dudes, when they became full blown heels, you hated them. I guess Punk kind of maybe is like this too. But then when they were baby faces, you loved them. And it was just like they were so good as baby faces and they were so good as heels. I think a lot of people say Edge, but I'm still petty about that, so I'm not gonna put him in.
No, I didn't. Edge didn't do it for me back then. I like him more now.
Oh, you weren't a big Edge guy back then?
I was not a big Edge guy, and I think I don't know why. I just wasn't as dramatic as the Matt Hardy Edge thing was. I wasn't really into that storyline.
Really?
You know who I really liked? Goldust. Like when Goldust and Booker T were doing their thing.
Absolutely.
And Goldust he was a character and a good wrestler in the ring at the same time. But his character, when he got shocked and he got electrocuted, he was like, yeah.
When he was doing the Twitch stuff, like
that was pretty cool. When he when he dressed up like The Rock and put the hair on and all that.
Goldust is pretty cool too. I think Goldust is probably a little underrated too, man.
Absolutely. Severely underrated. There was a point where, and I know this was like childish of me to think, but there was a point where I wanted him to be world champion. And I know that, I know that was that's asking for too much.
You talking about during the 90s around?
No. During, in between, I would say early 2000s, late 90s, when he was real flamboyant, like when he was doing that.
Oh, okay.
I love that shit. I like those flamboyant characters because I like characters that are not like Velveteen Dream. I loved him. Yeah. I know he did some dumb shit, but I like those flamboyant guys.
I don't know if you ever seen Dalton Castle yet in Ring of Honor.
No.
He did a match in AEW. Really like Dalton Castle. He's dope.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty dope. I mean, they got some. I am into like some of those type of characters too. Some type of those. The Goldust back in the 90s was something different. You know what I mean? Like he was
crazy.
To play a character like that and to commit and to get it over the way he did was pretty.
And then that's so far from his real self. Like he's a country boy. You know what I mean? So he really put everything into that character.
I mean, you have to when you're gonna get something. Big thing for him too, though, he was trying to separate himself from the Rhodes name too. You know what I mean? Like he wanted something to create his own.
Well, identity. He's a Runnels. He's not a Rhodes, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, their last name isn't really Rhodes, but I mean, Dusty Rhodes is his dad. You know what I mean? So like the Rhodes, is what they looked at him as too.
Oh,
so
I get it. I see.
Try to separate himself from Dusty's shadow, I guess you could say. He wanted to kind of come up with his own image, which he did. I mean, Goldust is his thing, his image. You know what I mean? So it's definitely his style and everything. So it's definitely cool that he stood out and created his own image and all that stuff. So I definitely felt like during the mid '90s. I wish they would have pushed him a little more as a main event guy, just a little bit
Yes.
more. I mean, I
Yes.
understand why they didn't. Now they got always put him as a mid card guy, but I mean, just imagine that guy was the world champion back then. Like if he had beat
Yeah.
like Shawn Michaels or something for the title, like the heel he could have got would have been like
Oh yeah.
heel he could have been insane. So before we head off here, I got a little thing that I do been doing on my my podcast, my wrestling podcast, RWP. Make sure you guys go check it out. It's called Pick Between the Two. So I'm gonna throw out two things here, and you guys are just gonna pick which one you think is better. This is WWE theme song edition. So I'm gonna throw out a theme song of two superstars, and you just tell me. You don't have to explain why you think it's better. You just pick one, and then we'll move on to the next one. So whichever one it is, it'll be a theme song. And you just whatever your preference is, whatever one you think is the better theme. So first one, Batista's Walk Alone theme song or John Cena's theme song. Which one is better, Romano?
Jesus.
I walk alone.
Yeah.
Walk Alone. Shawn Michaels theme song or Eddie Guerrero's theme song?
Actually,
It's
Shawn Michaels theme song.
Yeah. I love Eddie more, but it's Shawn.
Like which song is catchier, better? Shawn Michaels theme song is fire.
Roman Reigns' current theme song or Brock Lesnar's theme song?
Neither.
Good one.
Watch it. Watch it.
Probably Brock.
Brock's is more like a bop. Doom, 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 doom.
Randy Orton's voices or Edge Metalingus?
Meddling is.
They're both great.
They are both phenomenal.
I feel like I gotta pick a voice. No, it's Metalingus.
Nah, it's meddling.
But I really want to be petty.
Jeff Hardy's No More Words theme song or Drew McIntyre's Broken Dreams?
God, that is top tier question. It's still gonna be Jeff, but if someone said Broken Dreams, I'd understand.
Nah, Jeff easily.
Jeff. Triple H's The Game theme song or Cult of Personality CM Punk?
God, that's such a good question.
Gotta pick one or the other.
Death is not an option, right?
It's not an option. Sorry.
Let's see.
Damn. I'm going to say, God, I'm gonna say Cult of Personality just because Triple H has like 75 good ones.
I'm gonna say Cult of Personality as well.
Rey Mysterio's theme song or AJ Styles' theme song?
Ray's current one,
Yep, the one right now.
AJ's.
AJ for sure. I actually stopped and listened to it. It's not bad.
I love old school ECW Ray's theme song. I love that.
Oh, okay.
Which one? The who's the jumping out?
Yeah, but it's different because they've remixed it a couple times. But in ECW, it was so cool.
My favorite
Wow.
Rey Mysterio theme song is the first version of Booyaka. The first one, the hip hop, that one.
Yeah.
That one, bro. Charlotte Flair's theme song or Becky Lynch's theme song? Which one better?
Becky.
Becky's got probably a top 10 for me all time.
Theme songs of all time?
Yeah, I love whoa. I love it.
Sami Zayn's is pretty good too.
Dude, the Sami Zayn's is I always compare those because they sound so similar, and I love both of them so much.
Trish Stratus theme song or Lita's theme song?
If I'm not being biased tonight, it's Lita. Yeah.
Lita for both you guys?
Lita, yeah.
Ronda Rousey theme song or Sasha Banks' theme song?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha, easy.
Hey, don't sleep on Bad Reputation now. That's a banger. Bad Reputation.
Yeah, but again, no.
Bianca Belair's theme song or Rhea Ripley's theme song?
I'm on my own against the wall. They're both so different. That's an unfair comparison.
Yeah,
That's not fair. This is my brutality.
Hip hop or The Rock? Yeah, pick one of the other.
That's not fair.
I think I'm gonna go Bianca's.
I'm gonna have to go Bianca too, just because it's more like a box.
Last one: Stone Cold's theme or The Rock's theme?
What the fuck? What are you doing? Why would you do that?
Austin. Austin, because the If You Smell is like it hits, but then like, I mean, it's still iconic, but I like the more of like the Rage Against the Machine-esque music that Austin.
Did you hear the actual lyrics to it by Disturbed?
No, not the Disturbed one. The one right now. The one Stone Cold comes out with all the time.
But they all right. Oh well, it's gonna be fucking Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
He said fucking Stone Cold.
The Rock. I mean, The Rock's had many themes though. I mean, the one he has now is cool.
My favorite was Hollywood Rock.
Oh, I was gonna say Hollywood Rock's theme was the best theme for me. That one was pretty sick. I like Hollywood Rock's theme the most. Give me your top 5 favorite themes all time before we head off.
Ooh. You want to go ahead?
No, okay, I'll do mine. Number 1 is Voices. Number 2 is Triple H The Game. Number 3 is Edge Metalingus. Number 4 is Batista Walk Alone, and 5 is CM Punk Cult of Personality.
fair. I probably have No More Words, Call to Personality. God, do I actually want to say Metalingus in there? I actually absolutely love Shinsuke's before they like
Rising
kinda,
Sun.
yeah, but when they did it like the NXT and there's so many good ones. Becky's is great, Sammy's is great. But I really love Maria Kanellis's Legs Like That.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
that's
that
so
one.
underrated, yo.
I love that one, bro.
That's top tier for me.
If I can say like outside the WWE, it's but I think Becky's is actually legitimately might be my fifth. But I really love AJ Gray's coming out to Waka. Let's do it.
Fucking Cody Rhodes in no particular order. Cody
Really?
Rhodes shit, 100% in there.
Oh, you talking
Dead
about
Man-
Kingdom?
Yeah, Kingdom.
Yeah.
Dead Man Walking, The Undertaker's, but when he was on his motorcycle phase.
Fucking rolling.
No, not rolling though.
Oh, I
Dead
loved Rolling.
Man Walking. He'd be
Yeah.
like, "You done it now."
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
Big
that
Evil,
one.
yeah.
You talking about You're Gonna Pay.
Yeah, you're gonna pay.
Yep.
Triple H's, of course. That's 3, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Hollywood Rock, specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. And Hulk Hogan's, but not the one I Am a Real American when he used to come out to the
Voodoo
guitar.
Child.
Voodoo Child.
Voodoo Child. That's Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty sick.
think an underrated one that might actually be like my fifth is, I know it's controversial, but Mox's Wild Things.
Why is it controversial?
Just
I
because
love
like so many people are like, dude, it does not fit him.
It doesn't fit
Okay,
him, but I
that's
don't
a
think
banger.
it much.
That's a banger.
I
That's a-
love it so much.
That's
And then
probably,
when
honestly, that may be my favorite AEW thing.
I think it's my favorite AEW theme. Yeah.
But it really doesn't fit him though, to be fair.
It doesn't, but it does though. It does, but it doesn't.
It's so cool because it's like
Because it says Wild Thing and he's like,
I think of it as like an anime character or like this badass character, and then he comes out to like I love Cowboy Bebop, right? And
that's
it's
a
like,
good.
this badass character is just
Yeah.
listening to jazz. Like I just really like that it's like
Yeah.
not what you expect. Hook could have a really good theme if like I don't know why he picked that Action Bronson song because it just
Yeah.
doesn't hit the same. But
Eddie Kingston's theme too is a banger. That's so
Eddie
dope.
Kingston's got a good one, yeah.
I love
Oh,
Eddie Kingston.
honorable mention, Baron Corbin's.
Oh yeah,
End
yeah.
of Days?
Baron
You
Corbin
talking
does have a
about
good one.
End of Days?
Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was pretty
And
sick.
and Broken Dreams.
You saw, so I'll name a very slept on theme for me. You talked about Maria Kanellis' Legs Like That. That was very slept on. But another great woman's theme song was Victoria's. The all the things she said.
Yeah.
That theme right there was a banger, bro. That was, oh my god, bro, that's such a banger, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so upset they didn't keep that.
They made that song. Was that song mainstream first, or did it go
No,
mainstream?
it was a popular. That was a popular song. Like
Yeah,
back
that's
in
what I thought,
the- Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure there was a lot of red tape.
That's why they had to change it because they didn't own the rights to and copyright stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why. They changed it.
Everything RVD had too. Like his TNA one, his WWE one of a kind.
Oh, I
everything.
hated his TNA theme. I couldn't
Really?
stand it. Bro,
God
bitch.
damn.
No, I hated. Oh, I
Yeah.
hated that so much, bro. I couldn't.
Really?
Now, One of a Kind though, yeah, that's a banger. One of a
And
Kind.
he did he used to do Walk for Pantera. He
Yeah.
used to do that in ECW because he said to Shane told him, he was like, yeah, we're gonna get Walk, and then they showed him the theme and he was like, what happened
What's
to
your,
Walk?
give me, okay, before we head off here, give me your top 5 themes right now in WWE. Top 5 favorite
Ooh.
themes right now, currently right now, they're gonna be active.
Becky, Sammy, Shinsuke.
Shinsuke's valid.
God, do I want to say Cody Rhodes is stuck in my head?
Yeah. Rose is a banger.
I don't know if it's even good. It's just stuck in my head. I love Sheamus's. I'm a really big Sheamus guy. And if I can't think of another one, The Miz.
It's pretty good.
What about you?
Roman Reigns. Right now we talking about Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch. I'm gonna say The Rock because he's coming back. Contract's already been signed. He's technically,
I'll say Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. I fucking love Seth Rollins' team.
yeah.
I don't like Seth's.
Oh, Seth's team is so good. That may be like, that's maybe my top 10 favorites. Like that's so good. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and the Judgment Day theme. The other side.
Oh yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm taking Cody out because I'm not letting Cody have that. Usos.
Usos over Cody?
Yeah.
Usos.
Day
Usos-
one-ish
They
over,
won it. Yeah.
over
Been
Kingdom?
down 6. Yeah.
I disagree.
Kingdom's top tier, bro. Kingdom's top tier, man. Kingdom, you missing out. Kingdom's top tier, bro. Kingdom's top tier.
I really liked. I don't know. Does MVP and almost come out to MVP's thing?
Omos got his own theme.
Yeah, he got his own thing.
Yeah.
Well, if MVP goes back to having his own thing, I loved MVP's.
I'm coming. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he has the other one. He comes out to the balling. We balling.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah, that wasn't like.
And you know
yeah,
what?
that-
MVP is a really good manager. I think his managing is gonna go over his wrestling for sure. And he's been a US title champion.
Yeah.
I mean, a US champ. So
MVP is one of my like most underrated wrestlers of all time.
yeah,
I love
he's
it.
really good. Good
I
one.
think all I'm saying, bro. You heard it first, Joe. Don't be surprised. Omos will win in the bank, bro. You heard it here first. You heard it first.
I will be shocked.
No,
If that
I will
happens,
be.
I will be
I
shocked.
will be
Go
shocked.
Moss, bro. Go Moss. Go grab that briefcase. What I'm telling you, bro.
I will be shocked, and I'm probably gonna share my displeasure with the internet. So
I was pretty.
Honestly, bro, I don't dislike him like that. He's alright to me.
I was pretty heated. He beat Riddle because
I'm
I
just-
really don't. Know
yeah,
what
I'm
to do with
over the giant thing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm
I
not-
mean, but it's all about money, bro. It's all about the draw. And
yeah, and he
And
is a draw.
he doesn't. I think for people to understand, he doesn't have to be a great wrestler. He probably can do things in the ring that we just don't see him do because
Yeah.
they're probably limited to tell him what he can really do. Like he probably can do
Very
a lot
true.
more than he can do in the ring, but he's a big guy, so they probably want him to look like a giant, honestly. But if he can play his part, I mean, they put MVP with him for a reason. He can't speak, so MVP cuts his promos. If Omos can just go to the ring and get that intensity level to where people can really feel like he's a monster, I'm just saying he could be the world champion. I'm just saying
It could actually be way more entertaining if he doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything, and he is just very almost like just stone face, just throw people around and just like grab the briefcase. I always think wrestling as like anime, so like think of it as like an anime character, and I think almost has the build to be this incredible anime character.
I think what hurts him too is his expressions too. Like he's not
Exactly.
more dangerous somewhere. Like he doesn't have that aggression in his face. You know,
What if he became a Paul Heyman guy?
Oh,
That'd be
That would be
wild, huh? That'd be an
Yeah.
interesting mix.
That would be interesting.
I mean, I don't know if Omos will really win. I don't know if they're going to experiment that fast with the push for him, unless they're really sold on him. But I'm just saying, down the line, I wouldn't be too surprised if he starts to get a pretty big push. I
He
mean,
won't.
I definitely think they see a lot of potential in him. It's all just a matter of if he can connect with the audience. You know what I mean?
No,
So
he will. I mean, he won't connect with me, but I'm pretty sure somebody out there is gonna.
I mean, you never know though. You don't know. I mean, he maybe you're like, you know what? Maybe because he's not going to be flamboyant in the ring. You're not going to see him do a bunch of stuff.
What? That's not the only thing I'm into.
But I'm saying like some people may hold that against him, like like his in ring skills are like but he's not.
If he does a moonsault, I'll buy his fucking t-shirts and shit ASAP.
I mean, he may be able to. I mean,
On the second rope.
I mean, I'll say like Big Show was one of my favorites. Like as a kid, I loved Big Show, but like I haven't liked all of the giants that they've put. But like if you have personality, you can find your own thing.
Some of the best. I mean, some of the giants they experimented with didn't always succeed. The Great Khali wasn't. I mean, but the Great Khali could do more than he really could do in WWE because
his Japan stuff is.
He was a lot more athletic in New Japan. Like he was jumping over the top rope.
Yeah,
like literally jumping over the top rope. Yes, like that's how he would. That's how he would come in the ring. He would jump over the top rope.
Jump?
Yeah.
Yes.
He would jump over the top rope.
Nah, I'm gonna look that shit up right
now. Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
He would jump over the top rope, dude.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
He was more athletic than he was doing, but they want you to be a giant and be more credible than you could do. So
Great Khali. What is it?
All right, guys. I'm gonna sign off here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming on, tuning in. Appreciate everybody joining the stream with all your questions. And make sure you guys tune into the Jeopardy tomorrow. 9 p.m. time. The Jeopardy back. So make sure you guys tune in for that.
Good night, guys.